This would be a speech I performed at a funeral. This is my cousin who this speech was about. We all know why we are here today, and we all know it isn't easy. We are all aware that this is not a happy occasion, but when we reminisce on our memories and time with Pedro, all that comes to mind is the happy soul he was, the smile he put on our faces, or the spontaneous situations we'd find him in. Instead of making this speech something that will leave you in tears or grief, I'd like to remind everyone of the person Pedro was. Let this not be a grievance of the life we lost, but 5 minutes of celebrating the wonderful life he lived that was taken too soon. The first memory I can recall of him was when I was young, maybe around 4 to 5. It was Thanksgiving Day, and he was eating a turkey leg the size of his head. My grandpa had made a joke, saying his stomach was hollow since he ate so much but still remained skinny. We all laughed together as a whole family. It hasn't been the same since. I also remember his graffiti and watching him sneak down to the bridge beside my house to spray his artwork there. I have visited this bridge many times since then, looking at the work and what he left behind, recognizing not only the mark he left on the structure, but the mark he left on my heart as well. Or the time my mother and I found him walking down the street. We stopped and picked him up and realized he was bleeding. We asked him what happened, and he told us he was skating and fell. He was so grateful we picked him up because it was cold and he was hurt. I felt 2 things at that time. 1, I felt for the first time appreciated. It wasn't often someone thanked me, albeit my mother was driving, for being there for them. Secondly, I remember wanting to be like him, to have little care or stress in the world, to not be concerned about walking alone or consumed by anxiety or worried about the blood. I looked up to him and his coolness. These are just a few accounts I remember of our times together. The question, if you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be, has been presented to me multiple times. While I listened to my peers giving answers of famous people, dead and alive, my mind always went back to Pedro. I'm sure if we had more time together, now that I'm older and understand just how special of a person he was, he would impact me in so many more ways. It is sad to think that I've grieved him longer than I knew him. We cannot change the past, but let the death of our dear friend, cousin, brother, son, or whatever he might have been to you be a lesson to forever remember. In the least cliche way possible, let his life remind you not to take everything so seriously. We might have argued that it was his carelessness that subsequently resulted in his death, but at least he was free-spirited. That the life he ended with was that of a beautiful one. He was kind, he was intelligent, he was everything one would wish to be. Do not let life consume you. Instead, consume life. Take in every moment, because you never know what will be your last. These words remain true to Pedro. Taking every day a step at a time, because he never knew when his last would be, and we didn't either. Thank you.